feel like with him likely being on the ballot next year, it would give you trouble running for re-election?
You know, there was a recent poll in Utah which had me showing some very strong numbers. I was very pleased to see that. I think the people in Utah don't all agree with me on the posture I took with regards to Donald Trump, but they respect people who vote their conscience, and I appreciate that in my fellow citizens. And I don't have any question in my mind that I don't want.
Today we are going to look at Mitt Romney talking about he's old and he's not going to run again for the election because of his age, and he's going to retirement. So he went ahead and encouraged the other people like Donald Trump and Biden not to run again because of their age, and give the opportunity for other younger people to run for the seat. So let's see and watch and see what he's saying.
You know, I considered my age and the fact that at the end of a second term I would be in my mid-80s, and I think it's time for guys like me to get out of the way and have people in the next generation step forward, because they're going to be shaping the world they're going to be living in. And over the last couple of decades, people of my age, the boomers, have done pretty well for ourselves. We voted for all sorts of benefits and programs for us, and we haven't paid for them. And I think some of the people that are coming along next want to have a say in how we leave the earth and how they prepare for the future they're going to live in.
You're a pretty vocal Trump critic. Would you feel like with him likely being on the ballot next year, it would give you trouble running for re-election?
You know, there was a recent poll in Utah which had me showing some very strong numbers. I was very pleased to see that. I think the people in Utah don't all agree with me on the posture I took with regards to Donald Trump, but they respect people who vote their conscience, and I appreciate that in my fellow citizens. And I don't have any question in my mind that I don't want if I had to run again. I just don't think that we need another person in their 80s. I'm a little long of tooth already.
Looking at Mitt Romney, who is trying to talk about the next president, to him, he believes that the next president have to be a younger person more than him. He doesn't support like the older people, basically Donald Trump and Biden, who want to run again for the election. He preferred the younger generation. I will see to that. I support that point, to me, my personal view, because we should allow them, the younger people are allowed to rule also, and keep for the new generation, which is better, because things are changing and the world is changing, technology and everything. With the younger people, they'll bring a greater improvement and a greater productivity to the whole nation and to the whole world as a whole. So what do you think as a whole? Do you support what Mitt Romney is saying, that for the younger people it's better for them to rule, or do you prefer age does not really matter? Can you kindly tell me at the comment section?
Don't need more like me. The issues of the day relate to China, climate change, AI, and a lot of guys in their 80s who know how to deal with those issues.
You mentioned your age as one of the reasons for not running for re-election. Is that a nice way to say to some of your colleagues who are older that maybe it's time for them to step down as well?
Well, everybody's going to make their own decision, of course, and consider their own circumstances. I just looking at my age and where I am, I wish, if I knew that I was going to be like Chuck Grassley and be able to be vigorous and dynamic into my 90s, I might have reached a different decision, but you never know. But I do think that the times we're living in really demand the next generation to step up and express their point of view, and to make the decisions that will shape American politics over the coming century. And just having a bunch of guys who were around, the baby boomers, who were around in the post-war era, we're not the right ones to be making the decisions for tomorrow.
So I can speak to where the Republican Party is now. When you look at the Republican Party, particularly where the House of Representatives is, do you feel like this is a Republican Party that is beholden to former President Donald Trump?
Well, there's no question but that the Republican Party today is in the shadow of Donald Trump. He is the leader of the greatest portion of the Republican Party. It's a populist, I believe, demagogue portion of the party. Look, I represent a small wing of the party, if you will. I call it the wise wing of the Republican Party. And I don't believe we're going away. I think ultimately we'll see a resurgence and come back into leadership of the party. Look, my wing of the party talks about policy and about issues that will make a difference to the lives of the American people. The Trump wing of the party talks about resentments of various kind and getting even and settling scores and revisiting the 2020 election. What are the policies for the future? And my party is only going to be successful getting young people to vote for us if we're talking about the future. And that's not happening so far in that other wing. There's no question. There's some portion of my party and the opposition party who thinks we need to have a strong person, a strong man, to put aside the Constitution. For that matter, President Trump, former President Trump, said we should put aside the Constitution and reinstall him as president. I mean, so yeah, there are some people who believe that. I believe they're sorely wrong. I believe the great majority of American people believe that they're wrong. But and in terms of what I'm going to be doing, look, I want to get more young people voting and involved in the political process, and that's something I'm going to devote myself to after the next year and a half when I spend it. I don't intend to make endorsements. By the way, I think endorsements are, what's the old line, the John McCain line, they're not worth a bucket of spit. Who the heck cares who endorsed who? You make your decision as a voter about what you think about the candidate and their point of view and their vision, and you don't care about what some other person said. So I'm not planning on...
But who do you want to succeed you?
I don't have a comment on who might succeed me. I hope that we get a very strong contender and that it's someone who's a little younger than me. Oh, I think it'd be a great thing if both President Biden and former President Trump were to stand aside and let their respective party pick someone in the next generation. President Biden, when he was running, said he was a transitional figure to the next generation. Well, time to transition. David Ignatius this morning made a strong argument that we should see that kind of a change. I think both parties would be far better served if they were going to be represented by people other than those of us from the baby boom generation.
I do totally agree with what Mitt Romney is saying about the older generation to go for retirement. I'm so happy that he's like retiring and allowing the way, giving way for the younger generation to come and try to change the world and change America and say, oh, I want to see your own comments on the comment section. What do you think about what Mitt Romney is saying? Do you support what he's saying, or do you have another opinion? Don't forget to give your own opinion in the comment section. Thank you very much. Please do not forget to subscribe if you have not, and help share my video. Thank you very much.